now that I'm reasonably late to the party, I think it's time that we cover Blissey'S because it did pretty well at a recent regionals, and pretty much everybody else has already covered it, but I'm moving and busy, so now I'm doing it. But Blissey's really interesting because it was the original counter to the Dracopult decks back in the day, and now that Dracopult has become so common again, Blissey gets to rise up and kind of be that counter all over again. The thing that makes it a pretty good counter to Dracopult is the fact that it's basic. The Chansey is pretty tanky, so it's not really, you know, something that you're worried about placing down on the bench. But also what makes it really strong is that not only can it eat one of the attacks, but it has the Happy Switch ability, where you're going to be able to move Dark Energy around to a bunch of Munkidoris, so pretty much your bench just becomes Blissey and Munkidori, and you're just looping damage off things over and over and over again, making it so not only can you absorb the attacks with Blissey itself, but then you just move one Dark Energy to a Monkey after like all over again, and you just keep moving 30 damage and just become really, really frustrating. You don't have to worry about their Ionos and things like that they want to play all the time, because your return attack lets you draw up to 6 cards. So you're super, like, you're always in a position to keep attacking. And then one of the other things that this will allow you to do is, since you're already running the Dark Energies, this is pretty cool. You can actually play the Roaring Mooney X, since you can place this down, place an energy for turn, then use 2 Blissey's to move energy to it, attack, and take the last 2 prize cards on a late game Dracopult if you want to. And then against anything else, you can literally just go Cornerstone and be super frustrating that way and just start blocking things. So depending on your matchup, these 2 cards are kind of versatile, but it's mostly like in a Dracopult matchup, you're just sitting there with Blissey and Munkidori over and over again and just being really annoying. I did choose to play the 151 Blissey, or Chansey rather. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Might cut that out, might not. But I choose to play the 151 Chansey, mostly due to the fact that I think it is nice to have the ability for. The ability comes up like 1 in a million games, but sometimes it comes up, and when it does work, it's really funny. So I like to do it. So that's going to be kind of a thing, though, you know, does it always work out? Not really, but every so often it does. The main thing that we're going to be doing is playing Trolley, and what we want to be able to do is go Arven for Trolley and our Turbo Energizer. This will allow us to get 2 basic energy cards and attach them to a bench Pokemon, just making it easier to have our Blissey's and power up with Dark Energies. We can literally just go double Chansey and a bunch of Munkidori, go Turbo Energizer, put them in, and go from there. We do have Rigid Band as well to make our Blissey's a little bit more bulky, and Town Store to just help even if we're not able to get into that Arven to be able to get our other pieces. But yeah, that's pretty much the list. It's very, very straightforward. It's got 4 Pokégear. We're really just looking to make sure we're hitting our Arvens and things like that. I do run 1 copy of Professor Turo Scenario, since what you can do is you can use the Happy Switch, move all the energy off the Blissey, pick it back up, avoid taking losing prize cards, then go ahead and just replace your Chansey, move a new Blissey into the active, use Happy Switch, start moving energies back, and yeah, go from there. But yeah, that's kind of the list, guys. Be sure to let me know what you think of the list and any changes to it that you would make. Be sure to let me know what cards you want to see featured in a future video. And yeah, that's just about it. Before we get into the games, though, I do want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. It really does go a long way. It means a lot, so thank you so much for that. And yeah, to anybody else, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate it. The channel's been growing a lot lately, and I appreciate all the support to the Alakazam video, so thank you guys so much for that. But without further ado, I will see you guys all in game 1 in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1, and our opponent's going to be going first. We open our Munkidori. We do have our Arven for a Trolley into Turbo Energizer play. We do also have the Rescue Board in order to retreat out our... Ooh, it's Gengar. Okay, that's pretty cool, because I do want to try to play Gengar, but I feel like it's really bad right now. So I'm very interested to see how they play the deck. Alright, so let's grab our Trolley and our TM Evo. Or not Evo, Turbo Energizer. Go Trolley here for 3, 2. Cornerstone could actually be good later on. And we already have 3 monkey in play, so yeah, let's grab one of those. We'll go Turbo N, Dark Energy down, Energizer. We'll go this and this for now, because we can always move them onto this later. Then we'll be able to go Rescue Board, retreat out the Munkidori. We can bring in our Chansey after. Ooh, we see Grand Tree, so that'll actually give us Evo onto this without having to look for it. If they knock out our Munkidori, that's fine. Fighting Spirit. Alright, pretty weak turn from our opponent. So I'm going to attach. We'll go Grand Tree. Get ourselves the Blissey'S. Let's move the damage. Then what we can do is we'll throw this. Here's fine. Throw the Rescue Board. Go ahead and retreat. I feel like our opponent doesn't really have much to work with, so I don't want to go Iono. I'm fine going Arven, grabbing myself Rigid Band and a Pokégear to find ourselves a better option later on, but we can throw the band for now and go ahead and hit the return to get ourselves 3 cards. We have another Iono, but we're not too worried about that. The main thing now is like just looking for another Blissey. Which we can get with the Ultra Ball. We'll go Blissey down. And then whatever they attack into, like, whatever they use to attack into us, we'll literally just use the Munkidoris to start moving the damage. Then playing the Pidgeot's, I think, a good idea. Handheld Fan would normally be good, but in this case, because we're playing Blissey and we're just going to be able to move it, it's not going to actually matter. Headquarters is a good call normally, but again, in this case, it's not going to matter. Ooh, we see a research. That's kind of nice. Going to get rid of these to grab ourselves the Blissey. Evolve that. So first things first, we're going to move 30 damage off. We do one-shot the opposing Gengar already, so it's better just to move the damage this way. So we'll go Happy Switch, move to this one. Go Brain again. Move another 30 damage. Now it's 60. And then what I'm going to do before I move anything around or whatever is I'm going to go research, because if I can find another Dark Energy, perfect. I can place this down. The Gnawing Curse will kick in, but, you know, I'm not really worried about that. It'll let me move another 30 off this. On to this. Then what I can do is go Happy Switch. Move that Dark Energy back onto here. And I'm not going to throw the Town Store down, because there's really no reason for me to do that right now. I can go Return, where I KO the Gengar. They can move an energy off me, but again, that doesn't matter. We grab 2 prizes. Hey, we get another Rigid Band. And so from here, There's no way they're going to be able to attack us unless they have, like, Secret Arts or something. Losing Dark Patch hurt this deck a little bit as well. Go Night Stretcher for a Ghastly. The Iono doesn't matter. Losing the Rigid Band's slightly annoying, I guess. Hey, look at that, another Dark Energy. Pheasantipity. But yeah, right now it's like we need to lower them by like 40, but we have all the damage we need to put them in range that we will be able to one-shot. They go Super Odd. We could actually boss up the Fez. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Alright, yeah, they're just going to go ahead and concede. I was going to say, the play there is at that point, we're just going to boss up the Pheasantipity and knock that out. Because then they're going to be, like, completely stuck. Like, there would have been nothing they can do. Unfortunate, you know, play from our opponent, but I think I'll discuss this more when we get into the matchups. But this deck's really interesting where, like, its matchup spread's really nice because rogue decks, you just kind of smash into the ground because Blissey's kind of obnoxious. And then the upper meta is, like, dependent. Like, I don't know. Blissey's this really weird anti-meta deck right now that's very, very good. Like, it's like, in my opinion, it's, like, shockingly good. But yeah, we'll discuss that more when we get into the breakdown. Let's get into game number 2, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2, and our opponent is going to be going first. We open our Munkidori again. Honestly, the rest of our hand kind of sucks. Like, opening an extra Arven to boss's orders and the Rigid Band is, you know, a little whatever. But all we care about is having Arven and an Energy, so that way we can get our Trolley TWM Evo. And, yeah, this works out for us. Going up against the Ends deck isn't really that much of a problem, since, like, Rage will be a little bit annoying to have to get around. But we'll probably just end up, like, bossing these down. But we don't have to worry about things like the, what was I going to say? We're not going to have to worry about things like the Darmanitan being a problem, so that works out pretty well. We see a Town Store. We'll go Arven for Trolley Turbo Energize. Trolley here. Doop doop. Doop doop. And we'll leave one spot open. Because of the fact that we have double... sorry about that. We have double Chansey prized. So we'll leave that available. One of our other things that's prized as well is the... is our teal or our Cornerstone. So we are going to want that as well. We can go Arven. And depending on how slow they play, we can go Arven for another TM Energizer. They are going to Iono us here, though. Perfect. We get our Blissey. We do get energies available. We do have an EXP share as well. Obviously, I would really prefer not to have my Munkidori knocked out on this turn, but if it were to happen, it's not the worst thing that could have ever gone down. Getting double Blissey is nice. Because had this gotten knocked out, we would have just brought in the Chansey anyway. We'll go Earthen Vessel here. We'll get rid of this for double Dark Energy. And then from here, we'll just manually retreat. Bring in the Blissey. Attach for the turn. We'll go for the EXP share onto this. Go return. And draw ourselves some more cards. Perfect. Grab ourselves a prize card. Let's go. Hold on. Could you imagine? That would have been so sick. We were like to be on 4 right there. So, you know, this is why we play it. Now, it didn't work, in this case. But, like, imagine if it had. We go to 4 prize cards there. We take, like, a bigger prize card lead. It'd be super sweet. We get Iono'd again. That doesn't really matter. We get another Blissey. I feel like every time they Iono us, it just kind of works out for us. If they attack into us, great. We'll be able to knock out the Fez. If they don't, that's also fine. We could just look to boss the rest for him. But if they attack into us, that works out totally fine. Alright, so they did not. So if we attack into us, or if we attack into them, they just go Rage for the turn, and then we're kind of stuck. So what I'd rather do is just go TM Energizer here. Just to get the Dark Energies from our deck. Let them make the first attack. We'll be able to move all the damage around. Just be really frustrating. There's an Iono. We don't really care about that. If anything, if we can get into a boss's orders, perfect. Because if they go for, like, a, flame body cannon or whatever, we move the damage onto the Pheasantipity, boss that up, knock that out, take 2. And go from there. Like, we'll just move all the damage off from with the Munkidoris. And then we use Arven in order to find another tool. We do find, or sorry, they go for the Reshiram Flame. I think the play's still going to be the same. We go Brain. Heal this. Brain again. But in this case, we're going to start placing the damage here. We'll go Happy Switch. Move the damage again. Make it so we will survive any one attack. We already put that into range. So we're good from here. We'll go return. Knocking this out. Sure, we'll draw 1 card. Why not? We take 2 prizes. Get ourselves an Ultra Ball. Now, at this point, we'll live the incoming Flame. If they want to go for that, we'll also live the Rage. Which is fine. With the Munkidori, I was gonna say, with the Munkidori we won't, but if they go Flame Body Cannon, that's also fine. Interesting. Flame Body will only knock out 1, though. Oh, right, they're hitting for weakness. I forgot about that part. Okay, good play on their part. But we will be able to fix this. So what I want to do, first things first, is we need to put enough damage onto them that we're able to one-shot with that. What I will do first is I'm going to go Ultra Ball here to get rid of this and this, just so I can check what's in my deck. We have access to one Night Stretcher, and that is it in terms of replacing the Munkidoris. We'll go and pick that up and grab ourselves the Rigid Band. From here, we'll go Night Stretcher to pick up the Munkidori again. Place that down. We'll go Dark Energy down onto this. Rigid Band. We can set this up for later, but I'm fine holding on to it for right now. What we'll do is start to heal this. We'll be able to move the damage again. Unfortunately, we are short. This is where I would need one more monkey. This does make things a little harder. I don't have a way to yeah, gotta empty this from my hand. Unfortunately, I won't have a way to do what I really want to here. So I have to go for this. Again, it's not optimal, but it is what it is. They can go Rage, knock me out, which sucks a little bit, but isn't the worst thing to happen. Because I will be able to, as long as I get one energy. As long as I can get one energy, I can go Blissey, go Happy Swap, or Happy Switch rather, power up a new one, attack into this, knock it out, and then they won't really have an answer. Is more or less going to be the play. Though, it does suck I didn't have an opportunity to pick one of the Munkidori back up. Because this is going to be Night Joker for Rage. Which is enough to KO us, obviously. We'll move the Dark Energy, since that is what we will need. We can get a KO onto this, but I think it's safest to bring in the Blissey for right now. We do have the option to drop an Iono as well. We know that one of our Chansey is still there, so we could end up actually winning off that. So first things first, we're going to go Brain, move this 30 damage off. And I guess we'll just put it here. It doesn't make a difference, so we're just going to throw it right here. Unfortunately, again, like I said, we don't really have the answer we're looking for. We will be able to hold on to this boss. That's actually going to be nice. Ooh, we should have put it onto this. I just realized that. But we only need one prize, so it actually doesn't really matter. Play here is that we'll go Happy Switch. Move this. Happy Switch, move one Dark Energy. Ooh, realize that I do need another energy. Question is, if I go Arven, do I get the energy I'm looking for? I think so. I did have another Night Stretcher. What was I doing? Alright. Unfortunately, we have to Night Stretcher for an energy here. Place this. We'll hold on to this. Go return. Get the KO. Draw ourselves some cards. Grab 2 prizes. One of them's our Chansey. This could be it. Coin flip. Woo! We grab our last prize, and that's why we play it, boys and girls. It doesn't matter how tired I am. It doesn't matter that I've been up for like 24 hours. All that matters is a simple coin flip. I love that card so much, just for that exact reason. I mucked up so much up until the end there. But yeah, that's going to be game number 2. We'll get into the breakdown in a second. Sorry if this video has been a little bit off in comparison to normal. I'm unbelievably exhausted. It's finals week. And I've talked about it in the Discord, but I'm moving this week to a new apartment. I got a new job, and it's finals week, so everything has been absolutely insane. I'm unbelievably tired, but I want to make sure that I'm still getting these videos out for you guys. So this one is, I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit, actually. But this has been fun, and that just made all of this worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna go do the breakdown, and then I'm gonna fall asleep, and when I wake up, I wake up. So yeah, sorry guys. I will see you guys in the breakdown in like 30 seconds, or not even, like 2, but yeah, bye. Going into the breakdown for the Blissey EX deck, I really like this deck a lot. Jumping right in for the fun category, it's got to be a 5 out of 5. I love messing around with Blissey, being able to move the energies around and stuff like that is a ton of fun. I think the only thing to be aware of is that it does have a learning curve to the deck. You would feel like it's really straightforward, but there is a lot of sequencing that you need to do with like your energies to make sure that you're still able to attack and like do the right thing. And like how you plan on actually moving and using your energies in a turn is kind of important. So there is a mild learning curve to this deck, and if you're like me, who's very, very tired, there's a chance you mess it up a lot. So go into it knowing there's a little bit of a learning curve and that it won't be perfect when you first start it, but you'll get better at it, and once you do, it's a lot of fun to be able to use, mess around with, and kind of exploit what this deck is able to do. In terms of power, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, or like a 3.5 out of 5, and that's mostly because like the return just doesn't do enough on its own. 180 is okay, but it's not great, and yes, you do have the Munkidoris to kind of mitigate that damage and like add to it a little bit, in some cases doing up to like 90 extra damage, which is nice, but that's only if your opponent is giving you damage to work with. And so if they're just one-shotting your Blissey or not attacking you right away, it definitely can be a little bit annoying in those regards. And so, like I said, that can be slightly frustrating to have to play around in order to get the damage numbers you're looking for. When you have it, your damage is good. When you don't, it's not great. So, sorry. I think a 3.5 out of 5 is good in that regard. Going into consistency, I'm going to put this deck at a 5 out of 5. It is literally built to do the one thing over and over and over and over again. And so it's very, very rare that you really run into a position where you don't get that to happen. So, like, you're running... The only times this doesn't really work, considering you're running 4 Arven with 4 Pokégear, is A, if you're unlucky, or B, if your trolley's prized. If that happens, then, you know, is what it is. But if it doesn't, you're pretty much good to go no matter what. You want to be making sure that you're going second pretty much every turn that is available, and you will be as consistent as you possibly can be with a deck of this variety. Going into the matchups, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Your Dracopult matchup is very good because you're able to move damage counters around. Your Gardevoir matchup can actually be pretty good as well, which is very nice. Being able to take double knockouts against Gardevoir decks can be very good, which is always, you know, nice. Your overall matchup spread is very good. The main thing is, like, your Terrabox matchup can be a little bit iffy because of the fact that you are in a position where you get stuck dealing with Pikachu, where if they haven't put damage on you and you don't have Munkidori, they are able to one-shot you if you don't have the Rigid Band down, and then, like, you're not really able to utilize your Munkidoris, and that can be annoying. But if you do have Rigid Band down, it makes it better. So your matchups across the board aren't terrible. Ironically, one of the worst things for this deck is the rise of the Blaziken with Greninja. That deck is, like, semi-popular right now, and that deck is actually a death sentence for this. Because they just use Greninja to one-shot your Blissey's over and over and over again, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So, and, like, your Cornerstone doesn't do anything in that regard to deal with the Greninja, so you just kind of lose. That matchup definitely sucks. But outside of that, this is the, like, best anti-meta deck right now in a way that's very awkward. Like, it's really, really good. But, yeah, that's going to be kind of why, overall, I'm going to give this deck a 4 out of 5. It is by no means absolutely perfect or anything like that. Like, obviously, we didn't see it win the regionals. It just placed really well. But I think it did really, really well. And I think it's just a super interesting deck where, especially if your opponent's not prepared for it, it can take things by storm. I would love... If I had the cards, I would play this at locals. But I don't own the cards, and I don't want to buy them. But if I did have them, I would be playing this at locals all the time. I think it's really, really interesting and a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's going to be my breakdown for the list, guys. Be sure to let me know what you think of the deck and any changes that you would make. I'm going to go and take a nap. Sorry this video has been a little bit more different than normal. But, you know, I figure that I should still get these videos out, and then I'll take a nap after. So that's what I'm going to do now. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Get a nap and enjoy life, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.